You're upgrading your filter. You want the best for your tank, so you buy the most expensive media, assuming it's the ultimate protection. For decades, the aquarium industry has operated on a single governing rule: maximum microscopic surface area equals peak biological filtration. The logic dictates that more pores mean more physical room for beneficial bacteria to grow. This assumption created a market dominated by highly porous sintered glass and natural pumice products, with heavyweights like Sera Siporax and Chem Matrix setting the standard. Sintered glass is a material made from glass powders fused together at high temperatures to create a network of tiny tunnels. These materials carry a premium price tag. Aquarists willingly pay it, treating the cost as a necessary investment to avoid toxic ammonia spikes. Yet, despite filling their filters with this expensive media, many aquarists still battle sudden water parameter fluctuations and severely clogged filters. The math on that massive surface area doesn't seem to add up in practice. Recent independent microbiological testing challenges the marketing claims behind these high-end ceramics. The issue comes down to how bacteria actually live. They don't sit cleanly. They secrete a thick, sticky layer called a biofilm to colonize an area. This exposes the fatal flaw of premium media. The microscopic pores that theoretically offer massive surface area are actually too small to hold a mature biofilm without choking. This diagram shows a cross-section of a porous ceramic ring. Notice how biofilm seals over the microscopic outer pores. This physical barrier forces water currents, carrying oxygen and ammonia, to bypass the interior entirely. Because water cannot penetrate the core, that internal surface area becomes a suffocated dead zone. The effective area drops to zero, leaving the expensive interior completely useless. Evaluating biological media by its static surface area leads you down the wrong path. The true measure of biological filtration capacity is dynamic, sustained water flow. Let's compare the reigning champions, sintered glass and natural pumice, against alternatives that prioritize flow. Fresh out of the box, glass and pumice offer vast real estate for rapid bacterial colonization. But as your tank ages, detritus and organic waste mix with the bacterial layer. This compounds the biofilm problem, rapidly accelerating the clogging of those microscopic pores. Products made of natural pumice, like Matrix, have dense cores that theoretically support anaerobic bacteria capable of consuming nitrates. However, they are still bottlenecked by the exact same surface clogging that starves the core of nutrients. When the media clogs, you experience something called bypass. The filter pump continues running, but it pushes water along the path of least resistance, straight past the clogged media. To keep these premium products functional, you have to obsessively clean fine mechanical pre-filters. If you don't catch the debris before it reaches the biological stage, the media fails. Buying high-tech microscopic media forces you into a cycle of high-effort maintenance just to prevent the product's own structural failure. This brings us to a highly counterintuitive alternative: cheap, basic 30 PPI polyurethane foam. PPI stands for pores per inch, indicating the density of the foam's physical structure. Next to lab-grade ceramics, foam looks like cheap packaging material. Many aquarists immediately dismiss it as beginner equipment. This 30 PPI foam cross-section shows its advantage: large, open macro-pores instead of microscopic tunnels. Biofilm coats the strands, but the wide gaps remain open, allowing water to flow straight through. This prevents bypass, continuously delivering oxygen and ammonia without creating dead zones. By sacrificing extreme, unusable microscopic surface area, foam guarantees the single condition nitrifying bacteria actually need to thrive: uninterrupted, infinite flow. If we look at the industrial water treatment sector, massive facilities solve the clogging problem using a completely different method: plastic moving bed media, widely known as K1. This system requires a dedicated fluidized filter chamber pumped full of aggressive air bubbles, which keeps these lightweight plastic wheels in constant motion. The functionality of this fluid dynamic system depends on constant friction. As the plastic pieces constantly crash into one another, the impact mechanically shears off dead and dying biofilm. This constant friction prevents thick buildup, forcing the bacteria to maintain a permanently thin, highly active, and perfectly fresh colonization layer on the sheltered interior of the plastic wheels. K1 media totally eliminates the clogging variable. It engineers a filtration process that is violently and continuously self-cleaning. Let's evaluate the Biomedia Reality Matrix. Due to clogging, ceramics land in the high-cost, variable stability bottom right quadrant. K1 media lands top right, offering excellent stability but requiring high effort. Finally, 30 PPI phone locks into the top left, pairing ultra-high stability with the lowest possible cost. The data shows that paying a premium for biomedia frequently buys you a more fragile ecosystem that requires more manual labor to maintain. If you are an advanced aquarist building a large sump, need a self-cleaning engine, and don't mind equipment noise, K1 media is an excellent choice. Expensive ceramics have a very specific use case. They are strictly for setups with severely restricted filter volumes, like tiny hang-on back filters. In those tight spaces, you must maximize initial surface area and be willing to meticulously replace your mechanical filter floss every single week to prevent clogs. But for the vast majority of aquarists seeking a budget-friendly set-and-forget tank, standard 30 PPI sponge is the undisputed champion of stability. Step away from the industry's surface area arms race. Instead, focus on optimizing your filter setups to maintain sustained water flow over the long haul. Long-term biological stability depends on fluid dynamics rather than the amount of expensive microscopic real estate inside your filter.